morning. I was in a deep thought there for a moment. I had started up my lives and then I just went into a deep thought. Let me go ahead and get this out the way first because I've got a lot. Something just popped up and I've got a lot going on this morning. I haven't been sleeping over almost over 24 hours. YouTube, hit that subscribe button if you're not already a subscriber. Tap the notification bell. Then hit all. That way you can get notified when I go live. And it helps the brand grow. So I appreciate you on the YouTube. Facebook, I appreciate you. If you can, shoot me up some stars. Let me know how you appreciate me. Show the love for the page. I'm gonna talk about 3 or 4 different topics. It's just 3 or 4 different topics. It's not much to report in the world news, but I'm gonna talk about some stuff on the local, on our local situation here in Little Rock. And it doesn't have anything to do with crime. It's just something that I want to get on here and go live about and give the people, give you all an opportunity to come along and ask some questions, make some comments, and things of that nature. The first thing I want to start off with, if you don't know, I don't know if you care or what have you, but Pope Francis died this morning at the age of 88. Pope Francis, he was one of the few popes that his charismatic way about him, and how he felt about people genuinely, makes him stand out beyond all other popes. And he had just, he had already been sick. So the man had already been sick, and he, I guess God blessed him to make it to Easter Sunday, and he gave the mass or whatever you call it in the Catholic way. He did that, and early this morning he died. So it goes back to my saying, you never know when God is going to call you home and when he's going to punch your time clock, but whenever it does, you can't run from it. It's just is. Let me read some of these comments. Let me get close. Naughty Girl Gamer, hey, how you doing this morning? I appreciate you for tuning in. Who else just came in? Diddy Out or Diddy Oil? Diddy Oil. Hey, I can't see your face. It's too perplexed. Well, I don't know. I don't know. So let me see something. Maybe that's better. Your screen is very perplexed. Wolverines, is that better? Hopefully that's better. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So that's the thing that's going on with Pope Francis. Rest in peace, Pope Francis. He died this morning after giving the traditional Easter blessing on Sunday. So Well, I don't know what to tell you because it's I hate that you know that it seems like it's blurry, but I'm looking at myself in the screen and it's no different than any of the others. But sometimes it very well might be my internet connection too, bro. I get very crappy internet connection where I live. When my lease is up in a couple of months, I'm leaving here anyways, and moving, trying to get this house. So it's possible that I'll be able to move into the house. So I apologize for it being this way. I don't know what to do with it. Hopefully, eventually I can get me some better equipment or whatever. Because I'm on my cell phone with it. So hopefully, I apologize, bro. I really and truly do. I apologize. So as we already know, like I just said, the Pope, he died this morning at age 88, and you know, so I just want to bring that to the forefront. Another thing that's going on in the news, Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of of Defense, another one of those scandal gates that he's doing. Another one of them, bro. This dude here. Let me see if I can hold on just 1 second. Let me see if this looks any better. No, that's gonna put me in the dark. So let me see if I can move this over here like this. Then. Let's see if that'll take the glare off. So let me do it like this. Okay. So hopefully that's a little better ring. So let me just say this. Pete Hegseth, as y'all know about the situation about the Signal Gate, where the last time they had it, they accidentally put a reporter in on a call with about national security information and everything. Well, that finally died down after almost 3 weeks. That finally died down. Well, guess what? Pete Hegseth, this idiot, has done another one. And this one he added on his wife and his brother. So then instead of him accepting responsibility, he attacked, as they always do, he attacked the media and some disgruntled employees. The same disgruntled employees that were friends of his that he hired, that he brought up there to work with him. And now he's complaining about them and saying that they're the reason that this is out, instead of just accepting responsibility. There are a lot of people, even Republicans now, saying that they believe that he's going to be fired because the information that he gave out this time was actually national security information. It was about military information and so forth. So he can't get past this one. It's over with for this idiot, hopefully, and we get him out of office and get somebody else in there. So Those are the two things that's pretty much going on in the world news perspective. You already know about the tariffs. You already know about the guy who was wrongfully deported to El Salvador prison. You already know that Trump is trying to find a law that makes it where he can start deporting American born American citizens who commit violent offenses to El Salvador prisons. So just be on the lookout for that. This last topic that I want to talk about, and will probably go a little minute. Well, it's two topics that I want to talk about. This one I want to talk about is basically like a Q&A right here in Little Rock, Arkansas. We got a situation where someone brought it to my attention about a sign that was put on the door of a convenience store at the corner of 12th and Woodrow. And on that sign, it says, it basically, the store owner, who's from the Middle East somewhere, has said, stop feeding these homeless people. You're only making them lazier. This store is for y'all that's on YouTube and don't know, this store is in a predominantly black neighborhood. Or we'll just say it's in a low poverty income area. And all the stores all the way down that strip of street are ran by either people from Pakistan, from India, from Iraq, from Asia, or somewhere that's somewhere in the Middle East or Asia. And he has put that sign out there, and the predominant people that frequent his store are black people. Now, I learned after putting the post up, some women came on there and said that he's called them the B word. He called one lady that's in a wheelchair a black bee. He's very rude and very disrespectful. The guy, I think his name is Ali, and he's very rude and disrespectful. Now, I rarely frequent the store. I've been in there a couple of times within the last year. Stopped in there maybe to buy some lottery tickets, maybe a juice, but nothing on a frequent basis. Nothing on a frequent basis. So, like I've always told people, we have control in our neighborhoods. We have control over what functions and what doesn't function in our neighborhoods. We have the ability to make sure whether a store functions or it does not function. And that's clearly by the way that whether we spend our money there. The best way, understand me when I say this, the best way to hit a millionaire or a billionaire or any rich person or a business owner in their pockets and make them open their eyes and realize they're doing wrong and to listen to you is to hit them in their pockets. That is the best way to do it. And if these people want to come from another country and come over here and start up a business in our neighborhoods, but yet want to disrespect us, then they don't deserve our money. You know, you got some people who get paid from work and still don't have a bank account. They'll still go to those stores and cash their checks. And I think around about like 14 to 19 or 20 something percent out of your paycheck. And then from what someone told me, allegedly they won't let the homeless people spend their money in their store. So if there's a couple of the homeless people that work or get a check, I guess a social security check or what have you, and I don't know if the store owner will cash the check for them, but they said that they won't let them spend any of their money in that store. Now I understand as a business owner, you don't want, vagrants patronizing outside your store, because you're going to have a business owner going to have some customers that are going to complain. Some customers are going to come in there and say, excuse me, can you do something about those homeless people out there? They're asking me for money when I pull up to try to buy something to come in here or to get some gas, and I'm getting sick of it. And it's not just white people that will go in there and complain about that. There are some black and brown people that are absolutely for that as well. So one could say, well, the business owner is only doing what his customers is asking him to do. And that might be so. But don't put no sign up to try to tell your customers not to feed them. If people are hungry, you feed them. Now, you don't have to give them any money. You don't have to give them any currency in their hands, because you might think that they might go and buy drugs with it, or buy liquor with it, or buy marijuana with it, or whatever. But if they're hungry, if a person is hungry and I've got the money, I'm going to feed them. Whether I come in that store and I buy them a hot dog and a bag of chips and a pop, or what have you. But you don't put no sign up telling anybody that me spending my money on them to give them something to eat, excuse me, is only making them lazier. How dare you? How dare you? You don't have a right to come over here to our country and set stake in our neighborhood and then talk crazy to us and try to tell us who we can and who we can't feed. These are people that a lot of us grew up with. Some of those people that are out there that are homeless are people that we went to school with, that just fell on hard times, that might be on drugs. And I'm gonna say this right quick because I'm watching the news. The United States Supreme Court just blocked deportations. So now the United States Supreme Court is involved. So now we're gonna see what this, how this goes now if Trump continues to deport any illegal immigrants or what have you. Is he going to go against the Supreme Court, United States Supreme Court, like he's been going against these lower federal judges? But I'll probably come back onto that at the end. But just letting y'all know, that's what's going on as well. So now the United States Supreme Court is involved in this mess with Trump. So people, I'm all for a boycott. I'm all for a boycott, because this is the thing. If you're in my neighborhood if you're in a neighborhood that I frequent, um, then as far as a store wise, then you need to be nice to people. If you're running a business, you need to be respectable to people. You need to be respectful. Excuse me, respectful. Respectful to people. You can't call women bees and hoes um, because you get mad. Um, if someone called their wife, if someone called Ali's wife a bee or a hoe, I guarantee you he will be ready to fight. He'd be ready to down there unalive you. Um, somebody I just seen a pop up just came up and said police are everywhere over in Southwest Little Rock right now. Helicopter in the air. So if anybody wants to go and check that out and see what's going on over there, I think it's over off of Scott Hamilton. Um, um, you're more than welcome to, because your boy not. Um, but like I said, the best way to make a business owner get right is to stop patronizing their business. Stop patronizing their business. It's just as simple as that. Like I said, we have the power to make a store function, and we have the power to make a store not function. And by way of doing that is by way of whether we spend our money or not. It's just that simple, people. There are several other stores down 12th Street that I'm aware of. There's my boy Vic that's at the 12th Street, um, that owns the 12th Street neighborhood store right there at the corner of 12th and Oak. Now, when he first opened the store, um, it was just him and Marcus. Marcus is the big black dude, cool. Um, but Vic done got the store vamped up. He done got ATM machine put in there. He got lottery tickets in there. He's got clothes that he sell. He's got hot food that you can buy. You microwave food and everything. And dude gives back to the community. Um, Vic has barbecues where he feeds the community, the area up around that function. Now, when he first did one, he had me to do the video. I did it, and it got out there, and we had people coming from everywhere, from Southwest Little Rock and everywhere, getting a plate. Well, he's not doing it that way anymore. He's not doing it that way anymore, and I can understand, because he's spending his own money to buy this food. And so it's for the area and the people up around that store that frequents that area. And when I say that area, you already know within a ballpark radius what I'm talking about. I would say from 12th and Woodrow all the way down to we would say Madison Heights, and then back up to the like Hillary Clinton Library up in that area, all the way down to back down to Woodrow, and then as far back down as I would probably say right down the 23rd or 24th street or something like that. That's pretty much a radius, if give or take, um, to be able to go over there and get some food, get a good old barbecue plate whenever he decides to barbecue. And you'll know when he's decided to barbecue. Now, most of y'all been following me for a while, and y'all know that I'm not gonna feed y'all no BS. So Vic is a good dude. Vic at the 12th Street neighborhood store on the corner of 12th and Oak is a good store. That's a good store. I don't know about the dude on that corner store next to Pick Pack. Um, you know, the other store down there at 12th and Woodrow. I'll tell you another thing about him. A young lady told me that she was in the store one time and he accused her of stealing. Wouldn't let her leave. Called the police on her and everything. So she told him she wasn't stealing, and everything. So the police told him to roll back his tapes. He had called her all types of bees and hoes and all this and everything, and told her he was banning her from the store and all like this and everything for stealing. So the Rock police told him to roll back the tapes. Guess what? He rolled back the tapes. She was not stealing. He didn't even apologize. He just told her, get the hell out of his store. He didn't even apologize. Now, how is that good customer service to you as a foreigner to come over here and drop steak in our neighborhood, in the neighborhood that we live in, and then you're going to be rude and disrespectful towards the exact people who are buying your stuff, who is buying your gas, who is buying your lottery tickets, who is buying your Black and Miles, who are buying your cigarettes, who is buying your chips, your cakes, your cookies, your pies, your candy bars, your sodas, your energy drinks, your beer, your wine, sodas, all that. How you gonna be rude to them? People come in there every day, all day, to buy things, and you're rude and disrespectful. Come on, bro, that don't work. So black people and white people and brown people, if you've ever been disrespected by this guy before, and Ali at the 12th and Woodrow store, I urge you to boycott it. If you're sick and tired of it, and you have a legitimate gripe, then I say boycott it. It's just as simple as that. Boycott it. You don't have to accept it. You don't have to take what he gives. Boycott him. It's just as plain as that. You have the power to stop it. Now my connection is about to go out. I can already see it because it's doing it on the TV. So I'm gonna tell you, my connection is about to get ready to go out on these. And if it does, then we just gonna stream it, let it stream, and then we'll pick back up if it lets it pick back up. But I've got 30 minutes in here now. So if it doesn't, then I will have done my video for today, because I've given you the news pretty much here. Now let's talk about this last topic. I'm not going to stay here on it long. I want to just touch on a little bit of the Carmelo Anthony situation down in Texas. Now, I don't want y'all to get the name mixed up, and I have to keep saying this. Don't get the Carmelo Anthony mixed up with the basketball, with the NBA player. This is not talking about the NBA player. We're talking about the young 16-year-old black boy that stabbed the, the um, the young 16-year-old white kid in self-defense. And it was talked about. It was a great discussion on the Unpacking the Baggage podcast with B Level. B Level, Anthony P. Uh, oh God, and his showcast. Uh, it was a they had Jimmy Morris, Little Rock attorney Jimmy Morris on there. And when I tell y'all, Jimmy C. Morris is a mogul. That man has been doing law for a little over 18 years now. He has been practicing law, and he is certified with the all the way up to the United States Supreme Court. He is authorized and certified to argue before the United States Supreme Court. To my understanding, he's legalized to argue in all 50 states as well. And he has been my attorney for years. He started out being my instructor at Arkansas Baptist College when I was getting my bachelor's degree in criminal justice. And I clerked for him for a little while, and I enjoyed it. And very intelligent brother, and he's for the people. He's for the people. But only thing I would say to that case that I just wanted to touch on, I'm not going to talk about it or discuss it because I don't want to harm the young man's case in any way by negative comments. All I will say is, from what I understand about Frisco, Texas, where in the county that this situation happened in, it's predominantly white. So that means that it's going to be predominantly, if not an all-white jury. This young man, I would hope that he will have lawyers who are able to convince this judge to honor a change of venue and get him either in Dallas or somewhere like Harris County in Houston, Texas, or somewhere where there are black people, brown people that can sit on the jury as well, because we all know that the prosecutor is going to use his or her peremptory strikes to remove any jurors, who appear to be similar in life, to have a similar or the station in life to be similar or exact to the defendant. Basically, black. If a young 18-year-old came through there as a juror, got picked as a juror, a young 18-year-old black male or female, that prosecutor would use his or her peremptory strike to remove that juror, because they would say the age and I'm trying to get it worded like the way I used to word it. The age and station in life appears to be consistent with the defendant. Jimmy said it on the Unpacking the Baggage podcast. People, let me explain something to y'all. Y'all have to get out of that mentality of not wanting to be and serve on jury duty. You have to get out of that mentality. We complain that we as black people do not get a fair shake when we go into the criminal justice system, when we up in a courtroom. And that's because the predominantly all the jury is all white. And if there are some blacks up there, it's just some old ones. But most of the old blacks, they got certain questions that they will ask. They will ask you that they know that will strike you. They'll say, okay, do you have a problem? U.S. stocks tumbles as Trump again rips Fed chair. They'll say, do you have a problem sentencing someone to the death penalty? Oh no, that goes against my Christian values. I couldn't dare. I mean, who am I to judge someone and say that they should be sentenced to death? That only God retains that right. Goodbye. Automatically, you gone out the jury. You ain't got to argue, debate with the judge, no more about that or nothing. You're gone. You can go on home. And a lot of black people will use that as an excuse. They use that weapon. Oh, that goes against my Christian values. I can't sentence someone like that. Okay, then here's another one. The defendant is a 16, 15, 16, 17-year-old young kid. They'll ask this woman, do you have a problem with sentencing him or her to the max of 40 years in prison? They'll say, no, I can't do that. They could be rehabilitated. I could do maybe 5 or 10 years, but I can't do no 40 or 50 years. Goodbye, gone. You have to be objective. You have to lie. That's basically what it is. I mean, a lot of white people do it. They say, do you have a problem with the death penalty? Nope. They'll sit there just a stone face and say, nope. And you know what? If I sat on the jury and they say, Mr. Miller, do you have a problem with giving a defendant who has killed and raped and murdered someone and brutally beat them and so forth, do you have a problem with giving them the death penalty? I said, nope. No, I don't. None whatsoever. Because in that aspect, I don't have a problem with it. Mr. Miller, do you have a problem with sentencing someone to life without the possibility of parole if they robbed a liquor store and which is aggravated robbery? They robbed it with a weapon and it carries 10 to 40 or life. Excuse me, with parole. I mean, not without, but with parole. Do you have a problem with giving them a life with the possibility of parole? No, I don't have a problem with it. If that's what me and all the rest of the jurors decide and agree on, hey, I don't have no problem with it. If according to the mitigating factors and circumstances of what happened to make them do what they did, I don't have no problem with that. None whatsoever. Because this is the thing. I know that I can sit on a jury and I can have complete no decision all the way to the end. And when I say to the end, I don't mean just the end of the trial. I mean all the way to the end when we go back to the jury room, deliberate, and we go over all the evidence. And we talk, me and the other 11 jurors, and we talk and we discuss it out and we say, okay, this is what this is what this ain't. I believe he's guilty of something, but not first-degree murder. Well, what do you believe he's guilty of? Well, he did this while in a position that he felt like he was being accosted, and he felt like he protected himself. He didn't stab him multiple times. He was trying to get the guy off of him, and there was two of them, two big old guys. They were both bigger than him. They were like what, 6 foot 6 foot something, 200 and something pounds, to my understanding. They were like twice his size. You seen the black kid on the on the on television. And let me tell y'all something. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you this. Believe me when I say this. His brother gave that Young and the Restless, crying on the moment, on the spot statement to the reporter, that him and his brother walked in there and they noticed a guy in there that shouldn't have been in there, and they asked him nicely to get out, and he became aggressive and started splurring out obscenities and everything, and then next thing you know he stabs my brother, and I just couldn't watch and see it, and then he took off running and everything, and then the reporter, the white female reporter who was supposed to be objective, you can hear her say, what was her exact words? You could hear her say, totally uncalled for or totally unwarranted. Something in that ballpark. You don't know what happened, but you took an automatic stance on that case. Automatically, right there, she convicted that black boy. And that in itself is proof to show that he will not get a fair trial. If that reporter, who's supposed to be objective, stood there and said totally uncalled for or totally unwarranted, totally unnecessary, totally unjustified, if she did that, imagine what those 12 jurors are going to decide automatically, that they've already decided. That's why this case should no doubt, unequivocally, be removed from that jurisdiction. A change of venue should not be hard at all. There's no way this young brother can get a fair trial in Frisco, Texas, in that county. There's no way. There is no way. There's no way. And I'm just baffled about it, because this judge should automatically send it over to another county. He knows, the judge already knows that the defense attorneys are going to ask for a change of venue. And he's already prepared to say no. You know why? Because probably that judge is looking to move up to the state Supreme Court, or probably get a United States Supreme Court appointed when one of the next justices leave, or maybe a higher court, on the federal level. And then the prosecutor might be looking to move up to a Senate seat or a representative seat or something on the state or federal level. I don't know. But what I do know is, in order for this young man to have a fighting chance, and he deserves to have a fighting chance, that case needs to be removed from that jurisdiction. A change of venue needs to be honored. Now, I would normally say, well, okay, he could take it to trial there, and he's probably going to get a mistrial, or he'll probably get it back on appeal for prosecutorial misconduct or something, because we all know somebody gonna mess up. One of them jurors are gonna mess up, or somebody gonna mess up. It's gonna be like a situation like the jurors was in the Carl Lee Haley case in the movie Time to Kill. On one side, you had white folks saying, the black folks saying free Carl Lee, and on the other side, you had the white folks saying fry Carl Lee. And that's the way they're gonna have it here. You already see on Twitter and or X and Instagram and other TikTok and other social media sites, we're divided upon race. This one guy, this one white guy, he gives little short video excerpts about like 15 seconds to 30 seconds. And his videos be good. But he's already come on there and gave a racial narrative of profiling, saying that all the blacks are already getting ready to burn down our neighborhoods and burn down the gas stations and liquor stores and all the convenience stores if he's convicted, if Carmelo Anthony is convicted. And that could be farthest from the truth. We are doing no more than what y'all would do if the shoe was on the other foot. Y'all would stand for y'all's. You did it with Kyle Rittenhouse. You took money, took a GoFundMe page up for Kyle Rittenhouse. For y'all that don't know who Kyle Rittenhouse is, he's the same white kid that had the assault rifle that went to a city that wasn't even where he stood, where he lived, and went in there and shot protesters. And Trump even said he was an upstanding kid. He was an upstanding person. But yet he's already chimed in and basically called Carmelo Anthony an animal. Let's talk about the white kid that went into the black church in Pennsylvania when Obama was president. Sat at the back of the church and then got up and opened fire on the black congregation. Now, one would say, how did this happen? Because see, this is the thing. We as black people, we welcome white folks like it ain't nothing. It doesn't matter what race, who you are, whatever. If we got a barbecue going on or we got church going on or whatever, white person could walk right on into that church and we like welcomes. Welcome, come on in. And we ain't paying no attention that it's 70 or 80 some degrees outside and they got a damn trench coat on. Not me. When I was my bishop's armor bearer, when anybody that was not a member, black, white, Jew, Gentile, Protestant, or Catholic, walked into that church of Abundant Life Christian Center Church, I watched them. We moved them up. We tell them, come on in, brother. Come on in, sister. Welcome. They come up to the front and they sit down. And I get my ass up and I'll come around. I'll come over there and I greet them, shake their hand and everything, tell them to stand up and give them a hug. And the reason I'm giving them a hug is because I want to feel. I want to see if you got anything on you that you ain't supposed to have. That's what I used to do. Yeah. I was a real Peter. The cussing Peter, because I cut your goddamn ear off. You come up in that church trying to start some mess. No. Then you'll get some people that are coming to the church and talking about, think they want to sit all the way at the back. No, you ain't finna sit it all the way at the back. No. That you ain't finna do. Come to the front. If you don't want to get them coming to the front, I'm going to come back there and stand behind you. And when I was in church, I always kept my pistol on me. Yeah, I always kept my pistol in my holster. Sure as hell did. Surely did. Because if you come into that church and you jump up and think you're going to pull a gun in that church, hey, you won't have to go far for your funeral. You're already right there in the church. We can just get you a casket. We can go out to the back and get you a couple of chicken boxes and cut them open and lay it all the way out and lay you on in there. And my bishop was a funeral director. He had his own funeral home down there in Hooks, Texas. And so we can just take you on out the back, cut you on open, and throw your guts on out, and have your funeral right then and there. But yeah, so it's I'm not condoning if someone does something wrong, but without a shadow of a doubt, we know that it was raining that night. It was pouring down rain, and this young man was in their tent trying to avoid the rain. Why he wasn't in his own tent, I don't know. But the two white brothers could have handled it better. They could have came in there and seen him in there and said, hey, what school are you with? What are you doing in here? Well, I'm in here trying to get from the rain. Okay, well, where's your tent at? You know, because if they don't know who he is, quite naturally, they don't want to share their tent with him. They don't know who he is. So, and they were on a track thing, and the thing was he didn't have a knife. It's being said by some people that he had a knife. To my understanding, it wasn't a knife. It was a thing. It was a rod thing that they used to clean the mud and dirt off of their cleats when they run, and that's what he had. So, you know, it is what it is. That's a hot topic. That's for speaking on. And I will say this: when that trial starts, I'm planning on making that trip. I plan on making that trip to Frisco, Texas, or wherever it's going to be. I will be there for that one. I will travel for that one. I promise you that. So I just want to tell y'all that. As I've stated over here on YouTube, I appreciate y'all for coming in, for the returning subscribers. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe. Please hit that notification bell and hit all. It helps the brand grow. That way you'll be notified whenever I go live, and you'll know that. So please support the channel. Right now it's not costing you anything to hit that subscription button before I eventually start charging for people to join. But I'm not there yet. When I reach about 500 subscribers and I've got the videos out there and I'm jumping and everything, then that's when I'll change it over to probably $1.01 for every subscriber after that point. So I appreciate y'all over here on Facebook. Send me some stars. I appreciate y'all for following me as y'all always do. I know a lot of y'all will come in later on and ask questions or make comments and things of that nature, and I'll address those comments and answers accordingly. So I appreciate y'all. Y'all take care. God bless your hearts and all your parts. Signing off from Facebook. Signing off from YouTube.